Now with Dragon Ball Heroes Episode 2 premiering recently, we were met with one of the greatest fan services of all time. That means Cooler finally being able to obtain his golden form, but unfortunately, still no golden cell. This has commenced a debate within the Dragon Ball community regarding Frieza and Cooler. Who is more powerful? Who has the most potential? Well, let's go ahead and find out.
Bitch, I bet I could. Bitch, I bet I would. On the low, what's up with you, ho? Bitch, you smoking drone. Bet you know, bust like 44 when I spit that flow, cause we go hard. Like that shit, they hustle on the boulevard. Fuck your broad, bitch, I bet I could. Bitch, I bet I would.
Now, Cooler was a pretty cool character because he was like that rival or Vegeta figure to Frieza because they were continuously getting more powerful, and then Frieza eventually closed the gap. He's like, okay, I need to haul ass, I need to become more powerful than him, and then that is when it happened. Meaning that Cooler went through like some roids, and he also got like a really cheap Shredder TMNT cosplay, and he obtained his final form, or I guess you could say his true like second form. Oh yeah, and guys, fun fact, Frieza and Cooler in their quote-unquote final forms, that is actually their base forms, and the other forms before that are actually like their, I guess you could say, suppressors. You can even think about it kind of like how first form Frieza is like a RAR file and then you like extract everything. That is kind of like how it all is. And then once you finally unzip everything, you get the final form, quote-unquote. Now, how many times more powerful was Cooler than Frieza? Although we do not have any official information or statements from the series or the anime or even the games, we do have at least one little tidbit from the V-Jump magazine, which isn't exactly 100% accurate. I mean, it really isn't, but it is really the only thing we have to gauge his power. So going by a V-Jump article, it stated that Cooler's power level was 470 million, meaning he was roughly 4 more times more powerful than Frieza, who was 120 million in the Namek Saga. Now, as I said, this V-Jump article isn't exactly the most accurate because they unironically have Super Gogeta at 2.5 billion, meaning that they don't even think he's more than twice as powerful than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, even using the Namek Saga power levels, so it's kind of like, I don't know if you should really use this one. But I would say that Cooler being in that hundreds of million range makes a lot of sense because he did face off against a Goku that was post Frieza battle and also post Yard Dread training, so clearly it is, someone that was more powerful than the Goku that Frieza fought. Regardless, at this point, it is very clear that Cooler not only had more power, but also more potential than Frieza and King Cold. However, you could argue that since Frieza and King Cold were already really powerful in their own right, they didn't deem it necessary to like train to unlock a new form because they were already like at the top of the food chain in the galaxy anyways. But the most important question is, how much of a boost would Golden Cooler get? Now, clearly we don't have a multiplier. However, according to promotional information for Dragon Ball Z Revival of Frieza, which clearly isn't Dragon Ball Super, but the majority of things do apply, they do state that Frieza became infinitely more powerful once he obtained the golden form. Now, most of you might be thinking, oh, that is like some, marketing tactic. It is some hyperbole, it doesn't mean anything. However, it actually does have somewhat of a foundation going by how the Dragon Ball Super scaling works. So Frieza went from being like a multi-building buster, maybe football field size level if you would have went. Okay, for reals though, Frieza went from being like a planet to a star buster and being able to scale above characters like Super Saiyan God Goku and also suppress Beerus from the Battle of Gods arc, who had a really important feat that, clearly everyone else has heard about at this point. So Beerus and Goku are gonna wipe out the entire Dragon Ball macrocosm. That means they were gonna wipe out the living universe, the Kaioshin realm, hell, heaven, the entire afterlife, the demon realm, all that good stuff, meaning that they were not only gonna be able to wipe out everything within the universe, but also the time and space. It was said it was gonna turn into a whole void, meaning that these guys were powerful enough to wipe out an entire time and space continuum. So Frieza scaling above these two characters, it actually makes a lot of sense that he would become quote-unquote infinitely more powerful at this point if he is more powerful than those that can wipe out all of the matter and also all of the time and space within the universe. Now guys, keep this in mind, Frieza only became this powerful after, having a lot of amazing training and amazing plot convenience. Clearly it wasn't like some, plot hole by Toriyama or anything, right? It's amazing writing. But anyways, within a couple months, Frieza got that powerful, and even though it might seem like really terrible plot convenience, there is actually somewhat of a small, justification for this. In a Q&A several years ago with Akira Toriyama, it was revealed that Frieza was actually like a mutant within his race, and his father was born with an abnormally large power level, meaning that he actually inherited that and he became like a prodigy. So these guys were really powerful, they were at the top of the food chain, so they didn't deem it necessary to like train whatsoever, meaning that once Frieza did want to train, he would actually get immense gains in a really short amount of time. So although it might seem like a really huge ass pull that he got that powerful, it might actually make some sense. And I mean, Dragon Ball doesn't really make sense to begin with. Now, unfortunately for Cooler and Frieza, the Golden Form has one really huge problem, that being the stamina drain, which is the main reason why Frieza's victory was so close against Goku and Vegeta, but he got cucked by his own energy drain. So clearly the form depends on not only having a, adequate body, but you also need to have a calm mind, and that is exactly why Frieza was able to unlock the true form later on in the Tournament of Power. However, let's just say that Cooler did not have to go through all that humiliation that Frieza did, and he also did not have to train for many months to obtain the Golden Form. Now in Dragon Ball Heroes, we have this guy named Fu who is really powerful as well. He actually trapped every single character that he, saw fit to be powerful, like Cooler, Bojack, Ozato, Trunks, and even Xeno Goku. He trapped them all in there and he's like, okay, all of you guys duke it out, whoever wins, gets the most Dragon Balls, becomes free. Now that I went over the plot premise, essentially, Cooler was actually able to damage, if not even kill off, a Dark Star Bojack with a simple death beam. Now keep in mind guys, this is not like a regular Bojack by any means whatsoever. The Dark Star Dragon Balls offer a really nice power amp. For example, if you look into one of the very first chapters for Dragon Ball Heroes, but this power increase not only allowed Frieza to just utterly bully around Super Saiyan Goku and even try to choke him out, but he was even able to take a Kamehameha from a Xeno Goku, so clearly it offers a really nice power boost. And Cooler still took him out in base form. So after Cooler helped out Trunks, he was like, hey, you know what, I'm not here to help you and be your friend or anything, I just want to get a Dragon Ball so I can get the hell out of here. And then that is when they finally encountered Goku and Vegeta facing off against Cumber, who is kind of like a Broly to Broly, and that is very scary to think about. So as soon as Goku tried to face off against Cumber, the malicious energy that covered his body leached onto Goku's body, and it actually made him go berserk. It made him lose his mind completely, and it made him want to fight basically everyone that tried to stand in his way. And despite all this and the great power that Goku showed, Cooler was like, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna take on him. And he was confident in taking on him in base form, and he was even in a power struggle against him. They were clashing hands, they were just staring at each other, and then they backed off. And then that is when Fu began his smack talk, and it's actually kind of helped Cooler unlock the next evolution. So Fu was basically questioning Cooler's capability. He was like, hey man, I should probably brush your brother because he's a lot more powerful, he has a golden form, which you don't have. And then Cooler was like, hey, are you talking smack because I'm superior to my brother, I can defeat him, I'm more powerful than him. And then he was like, anything he can do, I can also do. And he literally shit out the golden form immediately. He didn't even have to train or anything, he literally just shit out the form just like that. So at that point, it is really easy to argue that Cooler has more potential than Frieza, that he doesn't even need to train to unlock this form. He can just do it out of sheer desperation, or also because of his hatred towards his brother. And you could argue that, literally he just got it because of fan service. Dragon Ball Heroes is trying to give everyone a badass form or whatever that they've always wanted to see. But going by the lore and going by what we know about Frieza and his potential, it is very clear that Cooler would also be able to unlock the golden form in a really short amount of time. Unfortunately, just like Frieza, Cooler also did not have the mastered or the true form, and because of that, he actually lost a lot of power when he tried to face off against this Berserk Goku. Cooler even commented that this Berserk Goku had really pitiful ki towards him, and he literally charged a supernova in a short amount of time. He launched it at Goku and it knocked him the fuck out. He was completely gone, and he didn't even know what happened. He completely pulverized Cumber's evil ki, which is really impressive to be honest. Unfortunately, going by the manga, Cooler did lose his golden form because it drained too much stamina. He was even like, damn, I didn't even know this form was really draining. But if you want to go by the anime, Cooler was still intact. He still had a lot more power left, so he might have the true form in the anime. I mean, who knows? Now, simply going off how Cooler was able to like actually injure, if not even kill, a Dark Star Bojack that was making a Super Saiyan Trunks like struggle, or how Cooler was able to like clash hands against a Berserk Goku, it is very likely that a base Cooler would be more powerful than base Saiyans. And this has actually been confirmed, like going by how we have Frieza's huge power gains in the Tournament of Power. Now, going by the ROF arc or the ROF movie, we do have the information that Goku and Frieza were somewhat evenly matched. You could even argue that Goku was more powerful, simply off the fact that Frieza was trying to play dirty and even fight dishonestly to try to get the better of Goku. But it is very clear that they were like somewhat comparable to each other, but that changed radically in the Tournament of Power. Now, at that point, it was kind of clear that Frieza became a lot more powerful. Whis even stated, oh, it seems that Goku and Frieza are evenly matched. However, there's a lot more evidence that implies that Frieza was actually far more powerful than Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So there are several pieces of evidence to support this claim, but I'm going to go over two of the big ones. So essentially, I've argued this one many times already, and it is that base Frieza, or final form Frieza, was actually confident on taking on Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla and even a Super Saiyan Kale, or whatever form she was in. I mean, who knows what fucking form it is? They never tell us anything. But Frieza was even laughing it off at their threats, and he was even charging like an energy attack. He wasn't even going golden at this point. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna take on these, so I hope you don't mind, Goku. And then we didn't get to see that fight because Goku was like, nah, these are mine. So now the other piece of evidence is when Goku faced off against Dispo. So this clearly Lightspeed level character was essentially making Goku go from Super Saiyan God to Super Saiyan Blue. And Dispo was even making Hit struggle a little bit, so this guy was pushing around Goku to use Blue and Hit to actually try a little bit. Then once the climactic battle came between Universe 11 and Universe 7, Frieza showed that he was a lot more powerful than a Super Saiyan Blue Goku, even in golden form, going by his battle against Dispo. So going off the statement that we said, oh yeah, Goku and Frieza are evenly matched, doesn't really make sense, going by how Frieza was able to fight off against many other fighters that were making Goku turn God and Blue, while Frieza was basically chilling in his base form the entire time. He didn't turn golden unless he really needed to. And trust me guys, I'm not here to like shit on Frieza or anything. I mean, his potential, his power gain, his training is really impressive, and it is virtually rivaled by not many characters, if at all. And I mean, this guy is just on a whole other level, and Cooler surpasses that greatly as well, unlocking a form, his base form or the final form per se, and then stacking golden. So going off of that, it is very clear that Cooler would also unlock the true golden form in a really short amount of time. He probably wouldn't even have to train that long like Frieza did. But anyways, what do you think? Was Frieza's potential truly surpassed by Cooler, or do we still need to see what Cooler is capable of down the line? I mean, I'm going off of how he unlocked golden immediately. I'm like, wow, that is like really impressive. Even though it might seem like some marketing ability, it seems very possible just going off of Frieza. But anyways, I'd love to see what you guys have to say, and I'll catch you thotties next time. Peace out.